Here you can see the blue network and the yellow network. Blue is vertical and yellow is horizontal. Well, the blue and the yellow network, they work approximately the same, only the blue one doesn't have bridges. So I'm going to explain the yellow one. So if you look in here, the first thing I do is color it for any purposes, delete the vertical group, and I'm going to use a connectivity node. So what you can see here is a facet node. All the polygons which have too large of a difference in angle from each other will be cusped. So the connectivity node checks for connections, and this way there will be a lot of different classes because I create a class attribute for this. So for example, here you can see a straight part of the line. There is a very low angle difference, so they will not be cusped. The connectivity node see that they are connected and will make sure that there will be one class. So this means that when there is a curved part, so it's curved, not straight, there will be a lot of different and smaller classes which contain a lesser amount of primitives. I'm going to use this later on to determine where the bridges can be spawned, because bridges can't spawn where it's too curved. That would be looking weird. Each class will go through the entire for loop separately. So we'll take the first class you can see right now. The first class is over here. This is a separate polygon because it's in a very curved place. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, over here. This is the first one. It's very curved, so it's only one primitive in the class. Now, take a look at it. Because it's only one primitive, it immediately will be seen in this switch node. And this switch node determines the basic part. So, if there are not enough primitives in the class, it will switch to the first variation, which is this. If there would be enough variations, so enough primitives in the class, it might become a bridge or a longer piece of the curve. Well, over here it looks a little bit weird, but this just means that there are this is just the mesh that is created for meshes with more than 5 classes with more than 5 primitives. Okay, so this yellow part is the part which is going to determine if there will be a bridge. So what it does exactly is take all the points which we have used early on, so all the intersection points you see over here, it takes all those points and it checks for collision with them. So it creates a box around the primitive that's in the class, and if in this box are any of the points which are intersection points, then it will save that as an attribute, and later on I will check within the switch node if there is any of this amount of points in this attribute. If there are any of these points, then it says it can't be a bridge because there is an intersection point in this class. So that determines if there could be a bridge, and there will not always be a bridge, so from this on it will just be random. There's like a 50% chance or no, a 30% chance that it will be a bridge, and then there are 2 separate kind of bridges, and there are more iterations which can just be spread randomly. It doesn't really matter. So this happens also at the vertical one, only over here there isn't a bridge, so it doesn't need this. Well, there is also another thing we don't want the bridges to be, and that is if it's at the last part of a line. So you've drawn a line, and the last part of the line you don't want it to be a bridge because it can only be supported by one side, and a bridge always has to be supported by 2 sides. That's also one of the points it checks for. So if one of the final 2 points of the line is within the collision box, then it will say no, this can't be a bridge. That was step 3, and right now we're going to step 4.